I want to play Shattered America for Supremacy 1914. This is one of my favorite maps. Main reason is I like the amount of players. You could play up to 43. And I like how they designed the countries. Now let's just hit join. I want to join this round. And I want to pick random. All right, I'm Utah and no one's around me. But if you were to look at the countries around me, you'll notice that this is an AI because it has less than 10 provinces. Same with South Idaho, all three of these countries, North New Mexico. So I only have 2 borders I need to protect. Here and here, Arizona and Colorado. Now the coastal places also just have the coast. That gives them a barrier, but this map is unique where there's so many little AI countries that give you a buffer state. If you haven't experienced how to deal with AIs and know when they are not going to attack you, you need to watch my popularity and diplomacy video. I'll link it below. But I know I should just take out either Colorado or Arizona. Now I don't know who yet, but I need to see what I have. So I have 2 double resource energies. So that's awful. If I go to the resource tab, I can move the sliders a bit and try to get to positive. I have no fish, of course, and no food. So I'm really hurting on food and materials. Double energy is not a great spot. Below me is another energy and food. I mean, food could be good. Who doesn't love food? To the right of me is double materials and then double gas. It's tricky, very, very tricky. Since Orhan takes so long to deploy, I'm going to just get them started. And I'd like them to be deployed somewhere where they can't be seen. Now, Hank is quick. Hank only takes a couple minutes to deploy, but Orhan's 24 hours. So I'm going to get that started, even if I haven't decided. With my double resource provinces, I'm going to build a workshop. I normally build a barracks, but I am broke on food. And I'll build an armor car in one of them, workshop, second workshop, and then a balloon. Now that we have this going, it's my standard setup. Get the workshops going, get the balloon and armor car going. Again, I'd normally build a barracks, but I think food's going to be tight. But I want to say I have every resource besides fish. I'm leaning towards Colorado, and this might be a day 1 attack. I haven't decided yet. But with Arizona, can I invade them? I have an AI here, here, and here, and here that become my new border, and this human player, Southern California. If I look at Southern California, I see they have 2 food. Usually one of the Californians wins. So this guy may be a competent person. Level 9, not bad. Not the greatest kill ratio. He loves playing gold rush events. He does build railways and harbors. He does build workshops, and not too many. I think he's an all right player. He's someone to watch out for. But again, I've just started and I got in a little early, so I don't have anyone else. I need to look at the stock market. Food prices aren't amazing. We're already buying materials. I need materials because they will give me food also. So steel's at 5.1 right now. Oh, it's also pretty low. I'll do 5.2 and I'll just do a little bit because I don't expect this to last that long. Same for lumber. It's 4.8, so I'm going to add a buy offer for 4.9 and just a little bit. Energy is always great. I'm going to sell this oil because I have way too much energy as a whole. The one fun thing about this map is there's just so many little AIs everywhere. And these AIs just create kind of a buffer zone in between fighting. That's quite nice. Whereas a map like the Great War, like this, there's not that many small AI countries. For example, Poland is always just in trouble. They're surrounded by this player, this player, this player, and this player. Horrible start. They actually should have just made them into an AI, but what are you going to do? Break them apart. So there's like a buffer zone here in Central Europe. But this map is good too. I need to play it again. I may play it next time. Another reason I'm thinking of Colorado is I can move troops. This is always risky, but I can move troops from these border locations here because we actually don't have line of sight. You can see he has a question mark. And all I need to do is see who comes in Colorado and Arizona, because that could play a huge factor. What if there's a wild card? But then who's South California? Who's Nebraska? Who's Oklahoma? As I move, I'm still thinking like, oh, who do I want as neighbors? Because Nebraska doesn't look great. I have a double gas. Here, if I were to take this spot, that's so close to their doubles, so they'll definitely guard them. And I have 2 borders to defend, along with Oklahoma here, who's connected. But the Oklahoma one's not bad at all. This is really long. I could really keep this sparse, and I highly doubt Oklahoma would come for me here. I could react well in time. But then there's Arizona, who doesn't have that bad of a spot because it's just 2 borders instead of 3. It's a new player to defend against instead of 2, Nebraska and Oklahoma. But we'll see. I'll drop Hank in when it's go time. Got to keep checking that stock market. But yeah, double Double energy, that's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough start to the game. All right, well, Colorado declared war on me. I guess he saw me coming. Now, Army Group A in the north is going to attack this position. You can see he's force marching troops to reposition, but he doesn't have enough to stop me. Now, I'm planning on taking this spot in Angora with Army Group A, and since day changes in 12 hours and I can't reach that capital, since I'm attacking on day 1, my original plan was just to kill a bunch of his troops and try to get back on my border by day change. So instead of Army Group A going back this way, they will circle over here and chase this army down. Now I should catch them before they take Cisco. B, on the other hand, is just going to take out the Grand Junction here, go south, take out this army, and get here before day change. In the morning, on day 2, depending on what happens, we'll just strike back again. I don't care if he retakes these provinces. He's focusing on taking my provinces. I'm focusing on killing his troops. And it's worked out. Now, normally I attack on day 2. I saw an opportunity. I went for it. Oh, good. We're in contact. I'm going to hit the refresh button. Boom. Yes, I hit them both. That's what I wanted. Good. But yeah, things are going to plan. I've been doing great in the stock market too. You can see all my executed orders. And that's just one other neat thing about this map. The stock market is just a treasure trove of goods. For example, you can see what is 5. That's so great. The reasoning behind this is because what we talked about earlier. There's so many AIs already that they're already buying and trading in the stock market. It really lets you be able to take advantage of the stock market. It's the morning now, an hour away from day change. And my plan went really well. Now you can see that my army groups ended up at my home positions. When time changes in an hour, I will heal up. You can see I snuck in and hit 3 territories. And if we look at the kill count, it's quite good. That's what I like to see. 45 kills versus 8. I normally don't do a day 1 attack. There has been times I do that, but this will work. I mean, half of his army is wiped out, and I will just heal up. Oh, good. The AI Santa Fe gave me right away access. That's fun. I could use that to my advantage later. Oregon's moving up, taking South Idaho. Okay, Oregon's competent. Builder, he's built right. His kill ratios are decent. His level's decent. And his service record's decent. Probably building a little bit too many workshops compared to recruiting offices. Not as much infrastructure compared to factories. But no, he's not bad. I gotta really watch out for him. And I'm gonna put a unit right up here so I can have my presence known. That's good. It's good I'm observing. I'm gonna have my first balloon out in a bit. Arizona is probably gonna go AFK. So I'm either thinking Arizona or Nebraska. Now Nebraska's an overbuilder. Kind of like to not attack them in the early game. It was to deal with a bunch of armored cars and forts. Not me. I have time. I need food badly. I've been buying fish and getting great prices in the stock market. But it's a bummer. I'm not going to have barracks. That's one drawback. You know, fish, I guess, don't exist in the center of the United States. You just don't get fish. And I think there is actually some places. They could have done a better job with that. Quite pleased how this went. Even he was actively maneuvering too. So it was good to see it got my early game strong. It's the evening now. Army Group A and B have successfully punched through again while healing at day change. Colorado has been more determined about trying to get through my battle lines, but joke's on him, I always defend my battle lines. That my armored cars have been playing defensive. I've placed this armored car here at Cortez because he's force marching a bunch of infantry. You can see they're just dying away, but I'm killing them like crazy. If I look at Orhan here, Orhan alone killed 10 infantry. Now these weren't healed up 10 infantry. This has been an easier mop-up job than it normally would be, and I think my kill count is reflective of that. If you look at my kill count, it's at almost 8-1. Very good. It's going to be much higher too. This actually worked out attacking on day 1. More than if you just kind of stood still and I had to just kill them in place. And the force march is really not helping him. Taking him out. So I'm going to get there at Colorado Springs at his capital at day change. Before day change, I plan on taking Pueblo before the day change. This army group will stop this revolt here. And Orhan in the north, I'm force marching him to get to Denver so he can also get to Denver before I sack the capital. That way tomorrow morning I only have to worry about taking this one province and we're done. Now I have a balloon because I want to scout out my new neighbors, Nebraska and Oklahoma. Things are looking pretty good. You could see Nebraska just started a war with East Kansas and AI. The reason I say that is Nebraska took this spot here, but the AI took this spot. He's not guarding his front line and the smoke. Now if we look at the kill count, his kill count has still been pretty good. That's okay. 2-1. You could do better, but that's still okay. He's too new at the game that his service record hasn't populated properly, but he's building too many barracks and workshops. He's building 3 more workshops per recruitment office. I don't think he'll be difficult. He's definitely an overbuilder, as we discussed before. Luckily, he's fighting an AI, so he'll be busy. Oh, he built 4 buildings here, and then he lost it. That's so bad. Now there's Oklahoma, my next new neighbor. Oklahoma's taking out this AI, and he's doing a pretty good job of it. He saved the capital for last, which may or may not have been on purpose. Oklahoma has good kill ratio, 15-2. Decent PvP. Now Arizona just stopped right when he joined. There's that. I won't have to deal with him being a threat, but now I have Oregon. Now Oregon took out this AI and became my new neighbor. I luckily put an infantry here to show I have someone around. It's not an open border. Oregon took out this AI, and he hasn't finished up South Idaho, but Oregon's kill count is okay. It's 52-35, 1.5 kills. He's level 7, so we should get better stats. He's a route 1 for PvP. He builds okay, but out of everyone who's my new neighbor, he's the biggest threat. So it's something to think about. Tomorrow, I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to decide where I'm going next. But overall, I'm pretty happy. I mean, this is a great kill count. I cannot complain at all. And I need food. I was really hoping, since I wanted to hit Arizona because they have one food province, that I'd go south. But I was really hoping before I went south to Arizona, one of these California people started to do something because they just seemed like a problem. Decent players who like to have a head start in country selection like to pick these countries or these countries, also somewhere in Mexico. And I don't know why. Very perplexed that the West Coast is being quiet. West Coast also just has a lot of food, and I don't know if I need that much food. There's food here, here, and here. I would like more materials. I only have one. Thinking Nebraska could be great to hit, but then I'm overstretching myself. Because one, I'm fighting in an area that has low morale that I'm starting with, which isn't great. You generally like to bounce here, then bounce there, and then bounce there. And then as here becomes a higher morale, you then just bounce here, and then you keep going around, kind of in a circle. So you just keep growing and growing and growing and healing at a higher morale spot before you start your next invasion. There's that. There's just things to think about. Missouri also seems to be doing pretty well, and he's in a coalition. Who's in the United Americas? Okay, Missouri, North Carolina, and Florida. They're the second biggest coalition. Oh, Texas and 2 of the Mexicos are the biggest one. Well, that's interesting. Plenty of things to think about. But overall, this is going pretty well. And it's actually going so well, I may not need to heal for as long to get my morale back up because my kills have been so great this round.